So on to the next part. I'm really bored and locked out. Fancied a way of laughing at Larkin and Toxic. So I've done some stats where some of you are probably too young to remember this, but I think what season did they stop doing a 10.6 places paid?
2010 was it? I think it was 2010.
Was it that only that soon ago?
Yeah, it wasn't that long at all. It feels like a long time ago. Yeah, 2010 was the last time. Because 2009 was when Genso won with Braun.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, what we've done is we've basically changed around. We've gone through the standings and done it so that 10 points would be awarded for first, like the old days. No fastest lap points either. 6 for second, 4 for third, 3 for fourth, 2 for fifth, and 1 for sixth. And then no one else got points. Because first off, can you imagine how many retirements we'd have?
God, it'd be. I mean, you'd have about 8 people finishing a race. Like, we have double the amount of points on offer, position-wise, than they did 10 years ago. Like, it's just mad. It's crazy.
I mean, I wouldn't actually blame people for quitting.
No.
six places paid. But yeah, so we've done that. It's just a bit of fun, but it does bring up some pretty unusual results. It's only up to Russia, because the standings aren't completely finished, I suppose.
Stuart's pending.
Lord knows, but we've done up to Russia. We'll definitely update it at the end of the season and do.
Yeah, and just to say, it should be on the screen for everyone to see as well, each division. So, this for me is one of the most interesting ones. There is a 20-point gap between Alpha and Lewis up to Russia. But on the old system, even though Lewis scored absolutely no points for the first 5 races, he'd be winning by a point. Bad.
Purely because of the distribution of how much more a win was worth compared to any other result. I don't know what you think about some of these anomalies. Obviously, my favourite one, as I kind of alluded to in the intro, is Larkin and Toxic have 0.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of zeros.
And whilst they would be 11th and 15th up to Russia in the standings, they would actually be 14th and 15th in the standings, very much adrift. Whereas someone like Doom, obviously, would jump up to 9th as a result of having a 3rd and a 4th.
It's crazy to think. I for one, I'm glad we don't use this point system, because it's very top heavy, and it's just like going back to the Alphatrix and Lewis one. Like, it definitely the win. I don't know, because if you won a race back then, you only got a 2-point advantage. But if you win nowadays, you get a 7-point advantage. But back then, a win was much more important than now, obviously, because the points difference and etc. So I am quite surprised to see Lewis is actually winning this. If you go to this system, like I think he didn't race in the first 5 races, so he's actually, since he's joined, he's been top 6 every race going off this, which is it's quite impressive, I have to say. And look at Alpha. Alpha's had 2 races where he hasn't scored. Well, he wouldn't have scored points, so he's outside top 6. So it is intriguing to see. Like, you can see the top 2 are like, I think they're like 40 points, nearly 50 points ahead of 3rd place Montana. So it just shows how dominant those 2 are at the front. And then, like you said, you have people like Campbell and Larkin and Toxic, who won't be saying thank you for this chart, or whatever you want to call it, as they have no points.
And Cantera would be 4th as well. And the funny thing is that points are so much harder to come by in this, and particularly in like how top heavy they are. Like, Verstappen and Campbell, whilst being on 27, would have almost next to no chance of catching Montana.
Yeah.
Like, it would almost be, it would need, you're talking Virgin on like a miracle, it would feel like, in this system.
Yeah, and the gap's only 11 points. It's crazy to think, like. It's like, anything above 5 points in this, like, you feel like you don't really have a chance. Which is mad to think. And, yeah, it shows... Sorry, go on.
While Luigi just, would he even race? Like, he's got 100 points in the actual standings, and then it boiled down to 14 in this. It really hurts the consistent guys that pick up.
Yeah, points every race, like the lower end of points.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. Like I said, it shows how top heavy this division is, with Lewis and Alpha taking all the wins. Well, bar 3, sorry. Excuse me. Yeah, so interesting. I say Lewis is hoping that we use this point system. But yeah, on to Division 2 then. Anything else to add before we move on? Or we good?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. On to Division 2 then. As you can see on your screen, we have Dan. Well, this is before Japan, obviously. So we had me on 60 points, and which would I'd still be winning, but if going off the system we use now, I would have 200 points. This only has 60, and Dan would only be 12 points behind me. So I say only 12. It's still a lot considering the points that are up for grabs, more than a race win. But Cookie would only be 4 points behind Dan. So I find that quite interesting, because this would probably be perfect for Cookie, because he wins or doesn't do well usually most of the time, and he has 3 wins. So but he has, see, even me, I in this point system, I've scored no points 3 times, and Cookie's scored no points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So yeah. And then, but the field seems a lot closer with this system. You look down, you got 31 points, 27 points, 20 points, 16, 26. Who's 26? Killer. It would help Killer. Killer would. Yeah. Well, that's not a surprise.
And especially after yesterday, he would be right up there, I think. Not terribly far off.
No.
Dan and Cookie, but while still being way behind you.
Yeah.
Right. So it's.
Go on, sorry.
The one thing that I think this particular division shows is that this is definitely the closest, because there's so many more points spread out. That's the top 14, and then I added Adri purely for the fun of it, because he got that win, and to show you like how hard it is to obtain points. But it's still really, really spread out with the points compared to the others. I suppose the only exception is poor little old me, who had 2 5th places and would have
4 points. You wouldn't be in favour of having this point system anyway.
Absolutely not, no chance.
God. Well, you'd be starting on softs every race anyway. Just get at the front.
Exactly, just get some TV time for the Minardis. Like
the Minardis, oh my god. HRTs. Adri's in the HRT.
He's like Olivia Panis. He won the Monaco Grand Prix, yeah. Did anything else.
Everyone blowing up and he's just driving through the carnage. That was Adri. That's fucking Adri. Yeah, look at McCrew as well. McCrew would only have 16 points compared to his 69. Anyone else that gets really hit hard with this? Matty would be another one.
Morgan does as well. Not quite as bad as me, but
yeah,
he definitely gets quite badly hit.
Yeah, I think. Go on, sorry.
White's YY gets quite punished as well.
Yeah, it's definitely not a system I favour, and glad we don't use it nowadays, because it's just it really is top heavy. Like, it's always going to be the best guys, or in real life the fastest teams that are always going to pick up the points. So having top 12 is definitely a better way. F1, take notes. Top 12 is the way to go for points. On to the next division. Then we got is Division 3, and no surprise, the order stays the same again here, with Ben first, Ton second, and Bree third. Yeah, again, Ben's not that far ahead if you use this point system. Again, 11 points is quite a lot in this point system, but it's not as big as the gap in that he has now. But
it'd be 21.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
21. Sorry, 21. Yeah, sorry. He's dominated. He's walked this division. That's it. Then that just shows. And he's taken the majority of the points. And then you look at someone like Bree, it wouldn't really do him any favours.
No.
Who else got hit hard with this? Someone like my Dutch face as well. 8 points compared to his 60 that he actually has, and then James as well. He's only got 4 points if you go off this system, which is quite disappointing.
I'd say he wouldn't be happy. Would be like Hardy, Packer, and Bree.
Yeah.
Because Callum would have just walked into this division and like had a pretty decent chance of overtaking them before the end of the season, when he's only raced like half of it.
Which is mad. It's just
it shows that because, like you say, it's just so top heavy.
Yeah, I'm surprised it took them this long to actually change it.
They did an even weirder one, which I will do.
Oh god!
I will do.
What was that?
This was before. I think it was early 90s.
Long before my time.
And they used to do only the best 13 results.
What?
So, yeah, they discounted the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And it was just so it was really weird. You'd go into the last race, and you'd have to remember what your opponent's worst 14th or 13th best result was to judge how it's really strange. But I'll do it at the end of the season.
That's mad. That's like
that
would be interesting. That's like the back markers battling out for 11th. Who has more 11th place finishes to finish ahead of each other?
Yeah.
Like imagine a championship being decided on that. Oh, I have more 10th place finishes than you. Good luck.
No, it did. It decided Prost Senna one season, I think.
Oh, is this the season that Prost scored more points but actually lost? That's ridiculous. Oh, that's actually such a stupid format. Oh my god.
And I don't think you'll like it. Because if it tightens up at the top somehow, then Cookie's either, like you said, it kind of favours everyone that's like all or nothing.
Yeah, like he wins or he's in the wall. Shit. God,
we'll look at that.
Yeah, that's about that. Oh my god. Yeah, but anyway, back to this. Anyone else that would? I think that probably wraps. Look at look at Tiger and DJ Williams again. They are drivers who would massively lose out, and Starger. Like it'd be quite depressing driving in this format. Like, imagine you've done 16 races and you end up with 12 points, or you end up with 4 points. Like,
see, but this is something that I think gets lost. You know, when you look at stats, and you look at like I don't know. We mentioned him just now, like Olivier Panis or like Jean Alesi or these guys. Like these, for those that don't know, they're just like good, solid drivers.
Yeah, nothing special.
They'd be like Hulkenberg actually. Hulkenberg and Alesi are probably kind of similar. Like they hardly ever scored points.
Yeah.
Because it was only top 6. I mean, how many points would Hulkenberg have scored in his season if it was only in his career if it had been top 6?
That's not many. It's crazy. You got to take into consideration though, back then reliability was pretty shit.
Yeah.
If you I can't say if you finish you'd probably get points, but that's definitely not the case.
I think only like 12 cars would finish on average.
Yeah.
I mean, some races it would literally be like, I think that Monaco Grand Prix that
I think
was
5 or 6 people finish. Yeah, That was a mad race. Um, but yeah, I think that wraps up D3, and we have a look at D4. D4 is interesting.
This is the most top heavy
Yeah,
by far. Like, Smitsky down is... Well, actually, no, not Smitsky, that's not fair. Ghost down is...
George and Cloudy, and
Yeah.
Slayer as well, even.
Slayer and Jordan get really punished.
Yeah,
No points for them when, in fact, they're sat on quite a healthy score of 30 odd. Not ideal for those boys at all.
This would also, this format would help Jerome, who joined LoE.
Yeah, hugely.
Hugely,
Still being us out of the title.
Still in chance title. And the title would have been level in points. The two contenders would have been both on 61 points. I mean,
5 races to go, 20-point lead. Jasper had like 2 race wins lead. That's what the gap would have been.
is that... No, they're not level in points, 61 each.
No, but that's what I mean. Like,
Oh, sorry,
the
yes.
last 2 races.
Oh,
that we
yeah,
got.
yeah. Sorry, yeah.
That's crazy
That
to
is,
think.
yeah.
And that kind of highlights the... Actually, one thing that does highlight, when we talked about reliability, obviously Jasper got DSQ'd, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
That having a non-race finish and your rival win in this format would have been
It's like,
dreadful.
that is, like, you just see inside yourself there, like, Ryan got 20 points on him in 2 races, which is huge in this point system, absolutely massive. Like, you wouldn't usually see that. But yeah, like you said, Slayer and Jordan would get hit hard with this. 0 points when they've got 34 and 31 points respectively. Like, I would not be able to do that a whole season with no points. And
Raj.
like, yeah, Raj, sorry, yeah.
Raj is... It's a 4-way title fight all of a sudden.
Yeah, if Raj hasn't raced in a long time.
It's like when Schumacher broke his leg.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. I say we bring. Well, do I want this in for next? Yeah, I'll be in D1. Yeah, bring us in next season. Come on, let's do it. let's just do it. Fuck it.
It'll be fun. Definitely have to keep going back to this next season. We'll have to do this again next season.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just fun. It's just an interesting way of looking at it. But yeah, it's a lot more outside of the top 10 in D4. And this kind of shows perhaps the inevitability of D4 and D1 actually, which is they're always going to be top heavy, those divisions.
Yeah, because in D1 you got the best drivers, and in D4 you got drivers that are going to improve. Like, we can't foresee that Ryan was going to improve so much to the point that he's levels above. Well, not levels. He's the quickest guy in D4. So, like, yeah, definitely agree with that.
Yeah. So that was an interesting jaunt down memory lane with a twist, I suppose. Hopefully, I mean, let us know if you do like it, because if you don't, no, I just won't bother doing it because it is a lot of bloody work. I'm sure Luigi could probably get it done in like 20 minutes. I was thinking there must be like formulas or something, like where you can just convert 25 or 26 into. It'd have taken me longer to research it than just do it manually.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think that wraps it up. So hopefully you enjoyed the podcast. Let us know. I don't know about you, but I'm hoping that we can, maybe not next week, but for the final race of the season, we can get the championship contenders on and get their views of their season and how they feel going into Brazil, if the championships are still going on. So if any of the championship leaders or contenders want to get onto the podcast, just message me, Mark, or J. Cole, let us know. And if there's anything you'd like to see us do in the future, then let us know also. But I think that's all of us. That's it. So thanks for listening, and till next time, bye.
Cool. Cheers, guys.